Hey guys, I am super excited to finally be trying out the Huda Beauty Matte and Metal Melted Eyeshadows. So these are an eyeshadow duo, and on one side you have a mattifying liquid formula, so it'll apply as a liquid, but then once you blend it out it dries down as a matte shadow. Then you have a metal shade on the other side, which is going to be like a really beautiful iridescent, like shimmery, little bit glittery sort of lid shade. So I'm really excited to give these a go. I feel like they're a super cool concept. I don't think liquid eyeshadows are like super overdone in the beauty realm. There's definitely Stila Cosmetics. We all know and love the glitter and glow formula. It is iconic. They definitely take the throne and take the cake when it comes to like those liquid eyeshadow formulas, but all of their finishes are exactly as the name suggests. They're glitter and glowy, so they don't actually have a mattifying formula in that range. And I didn't think I'd ever seen an actual matte liquid shadow before, but I googled it just to double check because, like, I mean, obviously don't know every single product on the market, and I hadn't personally heard of a liquid to matte shadow before, but apparently e.l.f. Cosmetics do have one. It's currently half price, so I don't know if that's because it's being discontinued, but it only has 2 shades and I've never tried it, so I can't say what it's like, but it definitely has existed before these were created. But yeah, it's just not something that I'm super familiar with, and I've definitely never tried a mattifying liquid eyeshadow before, and I'm really excited to give it a go. So these are already available on shophudabeauty.com. I'm not sure when they're coming to Sephora Australia yet, but I can definitely keep you guys posted on that. I'm just going to quickly jump online and tell you what they retail for on Huda's site. So they are 25 USD per duo on her site. So I have ordered directly off their site before, and although shipping wasn't the cheapest, it was very fast and effective. So I'm going to quickly swatch these for you guys so you can just see the different colors. They're very much like Huda's typical sort of color spectrum. So they're like those pinky, mauvey, nude shades. She apparently is already working on more colors, so I really hope that she brings out like a bunch of really bright shades too, because that would be slop. So I think I'm just going to swatch them like on my hand for you guys to see. So when you unscrew the actual packaging, they're like a little plastic. Yeah, they're plastic, but they feel really heavy, really weighty, and really luxurious. Oh, the names are on each end of each color. So the matte shade is actually called Faux Fur, and the metal shade is called Bamboo Hoops. It says I only have a 6 months. Is that 6? Pretty sure I can barely read it because the label's so small. I think it says 6 months. So after opening, they only have a 6 month shelf life, which that's not very long, really. 2 mils in each end of the actual tube. And as I was saying, it looks like a normal, like a concealer doe foot applicator for the mattifying shadow shade. So this is Faux Fur. It's like a concealer shade. So I'm assuming you would use that as a transition color. So now I'm going to try the Bamboo Hoops, which is the metal shade. Oh, okay, so the applicator is very different on this one. The applicator is like a lip gloss wand. So you guys know like Kylie Jenner lip glosses? It's like the same sort of wand as that. I've definitely only ever seen that wand, I think, in lip glosses, so that's interesting. Wow, it's beautiful. So I haven't watched any reviews on these other than Huda Beauty's video, just because I was trying to figure out how you meant to apply them and stuff. And she said that with the metal shade, you're best to go with a light coverage, not layer it too much, because the more you layer it, the crustier it'll become. So she said the thin layer is the best way to go about. So that's the first shade. Oh, look how reflective that is. That's really pretty. So then next up, I shall swatch Bubble Bath and Pink Champagne, which is like a pinky colored nude faux show. Oh, I like that. Oh, that's pretty. It's definitely like a rosy sort of pink shade. So pretty. Wow, that's so gorgeous. And then next up, the one that stood out to me the most is actually this one here, which is like the purpley colored one. And it is Silk Bomber and Bubblegum. Oh, wow. So it's like pink and purple. Like, oh wow, that's really pretty. I'm definitely gonna use that one today. Holy moly. Girl, I can't wait to try the mattes on my actual eyes just to see how they go. But like the metals, just based off swatching, are really giving me life right now. So next one is Private Jet and Summering Sunset, which is more of like a super warm tone color. The metal is kind of like a little bit coppery looking in the tube. So once we swatch, I shall be able to confirm that for you guys. Wow, I think I really love that one as well. Gorgeous. So last but certainly not least, we have Hot Sauce and Cherry Soda, which are like, they're like reds, like really warm tone brown reds. Oh wow, now that is beautiful. Now because these only have like a 6-month shelf life, I would personally probably not buy all of them for that reason, because I don't know if you could use all the product up unless you were using it every day. But that is the last shade. Oh, check out those colors. Wow. I feel like my favorite are definitely the bottom 3, so the darkest of the 3. So that's Hot Sauce and Cherry Soda, Private Jet and Shimmering Sunset, and then the purple one, which is Silk Bomber and Bubble Gum. They're definitely my favorite, the bottom 3 duos. But they're all really pretty. The shimmer in the first one is gorgeous. It's like a really pretty gold. I use the first 3 matte shades. I always get really nervous when I'm trying out products that like I've never used before. Kind of a bit nerve-wracking. Look, I think I'm just not going to prime my lids. I'm just going to leave them. So it says that you should just dot it on and then use a brush to blend it out. So I'm just going to be using my E25 brush from Sigma. And as you guys know, I'm a Sigma affiliate, so I do have discount codes with Sigma, and you can just use Hannah at checkout and that'll take 10% off your orders. And I'll leave all the brushes I use in the description box for you guys, but this is probably going to be the main brush I use today. So I'm just going to start off with the shade Faux Fur, which is that lightest shade at the very top that I've swatched, which is very much like a transition, like a nudie brown shade. So it says that you can layer them. It says that you can apply these down as a base and then apply normal shadows over the top. You can use the metal as a liner or all over the lid. So I guess we'll just pop it on and see how we go. My eyes are already getting red as well. I'm so sorry. I believe they dry pretty quickly, so you got to work with them pretty fast. Wow, that was easy. I was a little bit scared. That was a lot easier than I was expecting it to be. So yeah, it's just like a really light washer color, that one. Next up, I'm going to go in with the shade Bubble Bath as my next transition shade. And I'm just sort of running that through the crease. That's really pretty, that color. That's such a gorgeous, like soft pinky mauve shade. Yeah, so you just have to really make sure you get those edges blended out before it dries down, because once it's dry, it's dry. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with Silk Bomber as my darkest shade. Oh shit, she's pigmented. I used too much. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I layered too many of them, if I used too much product, but it's really patchy. This is not turning out how I expected it to. Guys, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know if maybe it's because I didn't prime my eyes. Like, I don't know. I think I'm just going to wipe this off. Just going to do a little bit more of a classic Hannah look, and I'll come back tomorrow and we'll try again, and we'll see if I can get this to work. All right guys, it's the same day. I just went and had something to eat because I was hungry. Cracked a can of Coke to get some caffeine in my system, and we're gonna try this again because I'm doing something wrong. I'm positive it's something I am doing wrong, because I've seen a lot of people on Instagram use these and it looked like an absolute breeze. I watched Huda's video and like her sister used it, her daughter used it. Like, I've done something wrong. I think I used too much product. I think I used far too much product, and I just don't think it's meant to be used in that way. So I have gone ahead and taken that other shade off. I popped some concealer over my lids, and I am also going to use my Too Faced Shadow Insurance, because that is what I would usually blend over. So I figure even though it's a liquid eyeshadow, I should do what I usually would do. So I'm just quickly blending out that crease in my liner. In my concealer. I'm very gassy from having Coke. So I'm going to use the Duo Shimmering Sunset and Private Jet instead this time, which is this second last one on my hand. Like, look how beautiful they all swatch. This is why, like, I'm telling you guys, like, it's something I'm doing, I swear, because like they look so pretty swatched. I'm adamant I'm going to get this to work, and I'm just going to use an E35 tapered blending brush, and I'm just going to try it, apply it like less liberally. Okay, that is much better. Okay, crisis averted. It's definitely gone on better that time. It's not patchy this time by any means. Like, it's a beautiful color, beautiful pigmentation, not patchy. I just want to get this edge a little bit more blended. Yeah, see, when you over blend it, that's when it starts getting patchy, and that's what I'm doing wrong. I'm blending it too much. Too much blending does it no good, which I feel like my brain is going to find really hard to process, because I am one of those people that, like, I blend until my arm falls off. Like, I blend the shizney out of my shadows because I love how it like creates like such a beautiful soft gradient. And with these, pretty much it's like you put it on and you blend minimal blending, otherwise you're going to make it all patchy. So I think I might just grab my new nude palette. I think I'm just going to take the shade Teddy and try and just blend out that transition a tiny bit. I think I made it worse. I haven't made it worse again. Oh gosh. Okay, well, this just isn't my day, is it? Look, I think maybe this is just going to be tailored to more simple eyeshadows, so maybe the fact I'm trying to smoke it out so much is just a no-go. Like, it's just not going to work. Yeah, I think I'm just trying to like build up far too much intensity with it. Because like that looks beautiful, but I used a lot less product, so okay. That looks lovely and soft and blended. I am not going to tamper with it too much more. I'm just going to leave it a little bit more on the natural side, because clearly trying to go like super dramatic, super ham with it is not how it's intended to be used. This is definitely meant to be like more of a really beautiful wash of color with a metal lid, not like a super dramatic matte shade, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go in with the Shimmering Sunset shade and just apply it all over my lid. I mean, the metals are just beautiful, like so stunning. And the brush is really easy to use to carve out like a cut crease. So I'm gonna take off what's on my left eye again and see if I can get it to look like the right eye, and I'm just not gonna go too ham. So BRB, let me do that and we'll try that one again. Now let's see if I can not stuff this eye up and do something similar to what we have on my right eye. So going in with the same shade again, I'm just gonna start off with 3 dots. So I feel like you just need to use a really, really light hand. And when it's wet, you just need to like really quickly go back and forth, like super quick, very light, and then once it's dry, leave it. Because if you over blend it, you're going to end up having a patchy mess like what I did the first time on my lids, and it just doesn't look good when you do that. Okay, I got it. I got it again this time. So I feel like this product is definitely targeted at a little bit more soft glam to what I'm used to, which is probably why I went a little bit too heavy-handed with it. And I think it's designed for people who don't have time to just be like spending hours on eyeshadow. That is what I'm going to say. And that is who I think will love this product the most. Okay, I got it that time. That color looks actually really pretty. So I'm just going to use the metal now. These metals are just gorgeous. I'm just going to pop my quick flick on, which is the 12mm Grand Quick Flick, and just do some wing liner. Okay, so I got my liner on, which is also a fail. Today's just not my day, but yeah, what can you do? What can you do? We're gonna power through. So I figured I'm gonna try and put some of this shade on my lower lash line, but I'm just gonna take my pencil brush and just dab it straight in. and then blend it across my lash line instead of like dabbing it. Do you know, I actually think this eye look is turning out really pretty. Despite all that stuffing around, I actually really like how it's currently looking. And then I think I'm just going to use the shade Bamboo Hoops, which is like that gold. That one up there for my inner corner. I actually really like how these feel as well, like they don't feel too heavy on your eyes. Okay, well I'm just going to go pop some lashes on and then I'll come back and give you guys my final summary of what's going on in my brain, because oh my gosh, it's going crazy right now. So I'll be right back. I can't believe we made it. I actually have my makeup finished, and you know what? Despite all that kerfuffle, I am actually obsessed with how my eye makeup looks. I think this is such a pretty color combination. I think the overall finished result with like that matte shade to just give that really beautiful little wash of color with the metal all over the lid and the wing just like makes for a really beautiful, like glamorous, dramatic eye look without having like super intense dark shadows on my lid. So if you're someone who doesn't like really dark eyeshadow colors, I think these are going to be perfect. I feel like the reason I was having a hard time is because old habits just die really hard. I'm personally someone who like, I blend till my arm nearly falls off. Like when I use normal powdered shadows, I like to layer and I like to blend and blend and blend and blend until the cows come home. These, you don't want to do that with, because I feel like the more you blend, the more you actually are going to ruin your overall result. Because I feel like it sort of patches away at the shades. So I felt like when I did the first attempt with like the 3 shades, which I think I used, which 3 was it? I think I used these 3 shades. I felt like after I put on the second matte shade, it was all good. It was looking really pretty, and then I went in with the purple and I used way too much product, and then I tried to blend too much and I felt like it just patched away at the layers of the melted matte shades. So what I would suggest is if you're going to use them, I would literally just pick one duo and I would just use that one duo. So I would do like a really nice sort of light dust of the matte shade and then literally lather your lid in the metals, do a nice wing or a nice bold lash, or even if you're someone that doesn't like wings and bold lashes and you just really enjoy like metals, metallic, foiled looking shades, then you can literally just do the wash of the matte and then use the foiled all over the lid. There's definitely lots of people that prefer eye makeup like that. I personally usually do like a really deep crease and outer V and like a really prominent cut crease. This is definitely a lot more wearable than that style of makeup look. So I feel like that's really what these are made for. I would literally just use it on its own. They do say you can blend normal powdered matte shadows over the liquids. So what I would suggest if you're going to do that, I would make sure whatever shadow you are blending over the top of the melted matte is actually darker than the melted matte, and I would keep it down towards your lash line rather than up towards the crease. So use the melted formula as your all over shade and like the one that's the most blended out towards up to your brows, and then you can use an actual powdered shadow to like darken your outer V or darken your crease, but I wouldn't try and use like a transition shade like I did. I would just use the matte as like the number 1 shade. And then I feel like with layering the actual liquid matte shadows, I think 2 is probably like the maximum you want to layer. I think once you get to a 3rd, it's too many layers, and that's why mine went patchy. So if you're going to do a layer, I would just pick like a lighter one, put that all over, blend that out as much as you can, then use the darker one for like more in your crease and on your outer V. So I'm going to keep experimenting with these just so I can improve my technique. I feel like I got the hang of it there at the end. I was shitting my pants there for a second that I was going to hate this. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was putting it on my eyelids and I'm like, oh man, this is like the first Huda product that I haven't loved. And safe to say though, now I figured out how to use it. I actually really love it, and I think it's really convenient, it's really handy, and I actually think it's a type of product I would use for like going out makeup. So I love to do really bold and dramatic tutorials and like cut creases and stuff, but if I was going out somewhere fancy, I wouldn't actually do that style of makeup to go out, because I typically just play with really dramatic makeup for like the sake of social media, for like Instagram and YouTube. If I was like going out to dinner or to like a fancy restaurant, this is more the style I would go with, which is something like a little bit more wearable while still being like super bright and glam and sort of like stand out-ish, if you guys get what I mean. So yeah, I feel like today's video was a lot. That was a lot for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed it and you found it helpful and you learnt from my mistakes of what not to do if you guys do try them out. Thank you so very much for watching, guys. I hope you found the video helpful, entertaining. Hope you enjoyed watching me panic and nearly shit my pants. If you did, give me a thumbs up, leave me some comments below, and of course subscribe if you guys haven't already, and I'll be talking to you really soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.